Hello everyone, this is ShadowMario41 and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario 64. We only have 9 power stars left to get, so it's time to go into the final course of the 15 main courses. This is probably the most infamous course to come out of Mario 64. This is Rainbow Ride. And I think the most, maybe not the most difficult, but definitely the most frustrating course, because look at all this instant death around us. If we fall off these platforms, there's no hope, we just die. So that's why Rainbow Ride is frustratingly difficult. That being said, however, it is a very, very appropriate final course in Mario 64. Make sure I don't get burned by that. I think I would have been able to clear that, but whatever. But yeah, this is a very appropriate final course. It's fun, you know, it's really cool, the visuals are great, but it's essentially this giant floating obstacle course in the sky. That's what it is. I love riding these magic carpets. I thought this was a really cool idea because it kind of simulates, I think this is what they're going for, it kind of simulates the block snakes from Super Mario World or anything like that where you'd have to ride a platform and just avoid obstacles along the way. It's really cool how they did that in 3D. I think this was a really good choice for that. But anyway, yeah, this course also appeared in Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl for that matter, under the name Rainbow Cruise. You might recognize it. I always liked that course a lot. I know a lot of my friends were like, why do you always pick Rainbow Cruise? And I'm like, it's fun. You know, it's not just a course that's sitting still. It's you're actually moving around and you have to adjust to the environment. And like, you know the course, so it's not like there's going to be any surprises thrown at you. But anyway, I always liked it, but my friends hated it. Of course, for like competitive play, I would never pick Rainbow Ride or Rainbow Cruise. But anyway, this first star is Cruiser Crossing the Rainbow, which is kind of cool because I think they throw in, I think that, you see that airship up there, I think that's supposed to be a reference to Super Mario Bros. 3, which I thought was always really cool that they put an airship, even though it's different because it has wings on it in this version, but it's still really cool. I liked how they did that a lot. But yeah, you can just look down over this course and it's just like a giant obstacle course. Don't fall into the cloudy abyss down there because you'll just die. Anyway, we can ride this rainbow magic carpet platform all the way around. All the way up. That's the other thing about this, is there's really no other way to do all these stars. It's gonna kind of take a while to get all the power stars in this course, so this might be a longer video than usual, which might be good for you guys, I don't know. I'm saying it as if that's a bad thing, but that means you get to be with me for even longer. That's cool, right? Anyway, we get all the way up here, we get on this trippy platform. I had no idea what was up with the design of that platform. I thought it was so cool. It's just random, Anyway, there's the first power star, Cruiser Crossing the Rainbow. I hate that they also throw wind at you on the airship. It's like, I mean, it makes sense, of course, but it's like, really? I went through all that, and now there's wind in the way? Anyway. Okay, back into Rainbow Ride. I'm now going to get, I'm not going to do Big House in the Sky, I'm going to get the 100 coin star and the 8 red coins of Rainbow Ride, which essentially hinges on one thing. It hinges on the blue coin switch, because the blue coin switch requires you to do a bunch of wall jumps. And if you can't do it, you might as well just start over. I mean, I think the 100 coin star is still possible if you fail the blue coin switch, but it's not easy, because that means you have to go way up in Rainbow Ride and take a lot of risky jumps, so you have to fall and backtrack, and it would just not be, it's just not pretty. Let's just not do it. Let's just do this. Come on, Lakitu. Want to make sure you get all the coins. Oh shit, I just fell. That's alright. It's alright. Not a big deal. It was right at the beginning. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna start over. We're just gonna keep going. Here we go. Back to Rainbow Ride. That's not bad if it happened at the beginning. I was bound to fall off this course eventually. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this video, the remake of Super Mario 64. Just to recap, last time I talked about Super Mario Sunshine, which is of course the successor to Mario 64, the next Mario 3D platformer. Of course, not a direct sequel, but still obviously the spiritual successor of this game. And I talked a lot about how I didn't like it as much, and I still, stand by that. I think Mario 64 is so much better than Mario Sunshine. And the problem, I think, is that they set the bar so high with Mario 64, which is a great thing for us, because we got this awesome game out of it. But it's like, how do you top it? You know, it's just so good, and there's so much charm to it, and so much. Not only is it such a good game, but it has so much nostalgic value for a lot of people. It's just really a fantastic experience. So yeah, how do you top that? So I think Nintendo was like, you know what, we can't top it. So let's just make Super Mario 64 DS, which is actually a remake of Super Mario 64, but with a lot of extra features, which I'm going to talk about right after I get blown up by this bomb. Hopefully not get blown up. Okay, there we go. Right after I do this blue coin switch, because this, really need to focus on it. Here we go, you ready? Okay. Jump, 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 jump. Alright, awesome. Whew, gotta make sure you make that jump. If you do not make that jump, you are so screwed. Like, don't even bother trying to do the 100 coin star, just quit. But anyway, we also get the Bob-on Buddy up here who's gonna open that cannon for us, which is very, very nice, because we actually need that to get Power Star number 6. So, that's really nice of him to do that for us. I'm just going to grab this red coin. I'm going to come back and get the rest of the red coins in a little bit. So, oh, how do I get off on this platform now? There we go. That works. So anyway, yes, Super Mario 64 DS was the remake made for the Nintendo DS as a launch title in 2001, and the main difference, it included 150 Power Stars instead of 120. It added an extra one in every course, and also a few hidden bonus levels that weren't around before, and a few extra Power Stars to find just in random hidden locations, which was cool. But the main difference was that you got to play as 4 different characters, 3 new characters. You get to play as Mario, Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario, and each one represented sort of one of the cap powers that was in this game. Like Luigi had the vanish ability, Wario had the this is not what I want to do. There we go. That's what I want to do. Luigi had the vanish ability, Wario had the metal ability. Mario had Mario's was weird. It was actually the P balloon from Super Mario World, how he inflates and can like float up in the air. That was kind of cool. And then Yoshi was able to collect caps throughout the stage and actually temporarily transform, or not really transform, but utilize the powers of any Mario Bro. And then there was also a wing power that allowed certain characters to fly. So it was pretty cool. It was a really good remake, I thought. However, it's unfortunate that it still doesn't replace the original experience of playing Mario 64. You know, as great as it is, and it added all those extra features and stuff, certain things about it just still weren't as good. And the main thing about Super Mario 64 DS that I thought brought it, and I think this is a common complaint, that with the analog stick and playing Nintendo 64, I'm obviously playing the N64 right now. You know, I'm not using an emulator or a keyboard or anything like that. This is the N64 hooked up to a capture card. So, in case you're wondering. But the main thing is that with the analog stick, you get that precision control. You really feel like you can control Mario so well, and you can really stop on a dime, and you get such fluid motion of Mario. And the problem is that the Nintendo DS didn't have an analog stick. The Nintendo DS had a D-pad, and you might be like, well, what's the big deal? You know, that doesn't seem too bad, but you really lost that sense of precision control, which is what I think made Super Mario 64 so amazing. Because yeah, it was also like a first 3D game, and not the first one, like I said before, but one of the first major 3D titles, and you know, it's a big deal. But imagine if the controls sucked. Imagine if the controls sucked. Like, no one would have even cared about this game. But the fact that the controls are so precise, it's so good. And the problem with Mario 64 DS is that they weren't. Oftentimes you find yourself falling in pits on like narrow platforms because you only had the D-pad. You can only go really in 4 directions easily. Oh, there's the Power Star, by the way. 100 coins in Rainbow Ride. Oh, not exactly where I wanted it to appear, but I guess that's fine. What the heck? How can I complain, right? I actually got it to appear and actually completed it without dying again. So that was the big thing about Mario 64 DS for me that really killed it, was the controls. Now granted, of course you can, you know, there's all these things about emulators, you can emulate it and play with whatever controller you want, of course, I understand. But still, it just felt so, it was unfortunate to play on the DS because it just felt so stiff, and it couldn't mimic the fluidity that the original Mario 64 had going for it. And so I thought that was kind of a big downer. The other thing I didn't particularly like, I like how they modified the story of Mario 64 though to accommodate for the extra characters. That was cool. And I liked a lot of the extra courses they put in. But overall, it just seemed like, I don't know, switching between characters was kind of inconvenient at times because you actually did have to, you could only use certain characters to get certain Power Stars. And I just like how Mario can do everything in this game. You don't have to swap out or anything like that. Now, granted, if you do that right in a game, if you do like the swapping characters thing, it can actually work out really well. Like with Donkey Kong 64, a big example of that, because you have to constantly swap characters. But the whole game is designed around that concept, which I think is what makes it work really well. Super Mario 64 originally as a game is not designed around swapping characters and having to switch out frequently. So I thought that was kind of a little bit of what killed Mario 64 DS, but still a fantastic remake. But those were my two major gripes: was the controls and the swapping characters all the time. You know, it was so cool to, of course, put extra characters in. It's like, oh my god, you can play as all these people, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know, I would have liked, I think overall I would have liked if they just stuck with Mario and just made it a strict remake of Mario 64 with just new levels and new power stars and stuff like that. So, I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure some people are like, oh, it's awesome that they put new characters. I love being able to play as Yoshi and Luigi and Wario. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was probably, I don't know, it probably would have been a little better if the other way around. We have some tricky jumps over here. This is Big House in the Sky. And I remember this one's actually kind of difficult. You have some tough jumps like this one. But, anyway. So we go through this giant floating mansion in the sky. I remember my friends and I always theorized about why this was even here and that there was a giant living up here. We were like, yeah, this boss battle against this giant who lives in the sky, which of course is not true. But how cool would that have been? That would have been pretty cool. But I always thought it was pretty cool that you go through this giant mansion. You essentially don't need to do anything though. That's kind of the disappointing thing about it. I think they just did it to look really cool. But as you're in here, like, you really don't need to move around or do anything. You can kind of just stay on top of this thing. Make sure you don't get burned by that fire. But yeah, you don't have to walk around the mansion. I thought that would have been cool if they made like a little house that you actually had to walk around. I mean, there's some coins on the table over there, but you don't really have to do anything. So yeah, Mario 64 DS, you know, it also had these mini games in it too for multiplayer, which were fun. They were kind of throwaway mini games, but it was fun. Fun regardless. They also appeared in New Super Mario Brothers, those same mini games, and some new ones, I think. But anyway, I mean, it was fun. It was definitely a great game. I wouldn't say by any stretch that it was a bad game or a bad remake. But, you know, oh god. It's kind of a shame that if you're gonna remake a game, that it still didn't top the original experience. Or at least it could, you know, so you could probably say that it matched it to some extent, but still, it did not top the original experience of Super Mario 64, which I think, you know, should be the purpose of a remake. If you're gonna remake a game, you want to just make it better overall. But anyway, that's my thing with Super Mario 64 DS. Feel free to, you know, talk about Mario 64 DS in the comments if you want. Again, a fantastic game. I'm not saying by any stretch that it was a bad game or anything like that, or a bad remake, but just a few little gripes about it, the main one being the controls, but the character switching as well, I think prevented it from really being as good as Super Mario 64 was. Anyway, we got Power Star number 3, which was the red coins, so now it's time to get, where am I trying to spin this camera to? I'm probably making you guys dizzy. Alright, there we go. Going over here. The next two are actually pretty quick, and then the sixth one's going to take a little bit of time. So yeah, this video is going to be a little longer than usual. Stupid fly guy slammed into me. But yeah, I would actually do a Let's Play of Mario 64 DS, but I actually don't have the means to record Nintendo DS footage, so. Unfortunately, that's the same reason, like, a lot of people ask, because I did Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Not that I like to talk about my other Let's Plays in my other videos, but I did Superstar Saga a while ago, and people were like, oh, you should do Partners in Time, and I would love to do Partners in Time, but I don't really have the means to record Nintendo DS footage, and I don't really want to emulate it either. Kind of against emulators. As cool as emulators are, I just don't think they provide the true experience of sitting down and playing the game. I think that's what it's all about. Especially with a game like Mario 64. Like, just playing it on the Nintendo 64, staring at the TV screen, not staring at a computer screen with a keyboard, it's just, you can't replicate it, really, in my opinion. But, anyway, that's just me. Think whatever you want. Don't fall off this platform right here. That would have been so bad. So bad. But I'm good. I'm still good. That's good. Okay. So, only 2 Power Stars left to get in Rainbow Ride. I know we've been going on for a while, but still keep going. Rainbow Ride is awesome, as much as I hate it. Because that's the thing about Rainbow Ride. I think I said this already, but it's such a cool last course, but it's so hard. So it's such a bittersweet moment when you actually get to this course, because you're like, oh, Rainbow Ride, this course is awesome. And it's like, no, this course is difficult. I don't like that. But it's still awesome. I still like it a lot. So, whatever. Whatever. Alright, this is Tricky Triangles. this, okay, I have to tell a story about this Power Star. This Power Star, as a kid, I had no idea how to get it. I mean, I understood what you had to do, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And the problem was that you have to, watch, I'll show you when we get over there, hold on. We're gonna go across this platform, jump on these blocks, we're gonna go over here. Okay, see all these upside down triangles? What you do is you have to step on this big purple switch, and the triangles will flip up for like a very short amount of time, and then flip back down. So you have to jump across all of them in that little bit of time. Yeah, you don't have very much time at all. But the thing is, the funny way I actually got this Power Star, see the Power Star's on this big platform above us? Oh, I might be able to show you when we get up there. But I essentially accidentally got this Power Star by falling like down the whole course. And it was really funny because it was totally by accident. Alright, there we go. That's really not that tough now, but as a kid that was really hard. I don't even know if I can get a view on it. I fell from so high up. It's that platform right there. That's the platform that Power Star number 6 is on, that big blue one up there. And I actually fell off of there by accident and landed on this platform to get the Tricky Triangles Power Star. And I was just like, hey, a Power Star! Like, is that how you're supposed to get that? No. But it was so cool. I totally by accident for the first time. It was very, very cool. Alright, one more Power Star left to get in Rainbow Ride, and of course it's a Wizard of Oz reference somewhere. Alright, I won't sing. Somewhere over the rainbow. Not gonna sing. Love the Wizard of Oz though. Love the Wizard of Oz, but I'm not gonna sing. Let's go this way. We have to unfortunately go up this giant rainbow thing again, which is kind of a bummer because it takes a long time, and I really don't want to fall when I get really high up, but anyway, I have faith in my abilities somewhat to do this without failing. So it's just pretty cool though, I always thought this was a cool last course too, because as you're going around, you know, Rainbow Ride and stuff, of course you have these kind of slow segments of going on this magic carpet. You're not really doing anything, like I can rotate the camera all day, all I want and all day, but I'm not really doing anything, I'm just kind of standing around. But I think it actually provides for the perfect opportunity. You can actually see all the Power Stars collected from the distance, that's cool too. It provides a great opportunity to reflect upon Mario 64 and the game in general, because you're walking around, you see all these platforms below you, and I just can't help but think like, wow, to get to this point in the game, we've gone through so much, and we've gone through so many varied environments and so many different types of levels. We went through caves and lava courses and mountain courses and plains and valleys and all sorts of crap, jungles and rainforests, and we went to the moon, and we went to castle, I think that's the game. But anyway, we did a ton in this game, and I think that's what's really awesome about Mario 64 is you get a little bit of everything in a 3D world, and I love that. Love that about this game. So it's just kind of cool that as you're going up and around this thing, I can't help but think, wow, we really went through a lot. This was really a great game to get this far, and I still have a few challenges left to go, so I'm not going to give up. I don't know, maybe that's the kid me talking, maybe now it's just like, hurry up, stupid platform takes forever, it's more like the thought process, but I don't know, it was just so cool to go up there and reflect upon this game in general, because that's what you do when you're on the platform. Well, at least that's what I do. So anyway, now we have to do a little something extra on the ship instead of just grabbing the Power Star. I hate when they just throw all these things at us to try to knock us off the ship. Anyway, we have this cannon over here. This is the cannon we opened with the Bob-on Body way back when we did the 100 coin star, and we have to blast to this pole, which I hope I don't screw up. I'm gonna make sure it's lined up precisely with the pole. Okay, that's good. And through this, and bam! That should be good. Yes! And even so, even after all that, they throw one Chuckya enemy at you, so he can screw up your day and just throw you off this platform and kill you. I hate that. But anyway, that's not a problem anymore. Get rid of him and claim the last Power Star of Rainbow Ride. 118 Power Stars, only 2 more to go. I think the next video is probably going to be the last video. We're going to get the course right across the way over there. And then we're going to do the last Bowser course and beat Bowser once and for all. This is ShadowMario41. See you guys next time on Mario 64 for the finale. Ciao.